Okay guys, Mike from Boyer Bows here. This is building the snaky bow. I think it's part 8, and I got some people who wanted to see how I put the snake skin on the bow again, so here we go. I have the one limb in the vise. I'm going to do this in 2 separate pieces instead of trying to get the snake skin down the whole limb. And what I've done is I've applied a very thin coat of Titebond 2 in this case, because that's what we use to glue the sinew down. And I'm just going to kind of give a very, very thin spread of the glue on the back of the bow where the snake skin's going, as well as a little bit just over the side, just so I lock the bow into place on the side of the bow for cutting purposes once the glue has dried. So I'm going to get that done. I just sort of take whatever excess is on the surface. Now this is going to help. I really don't know if I need to do another sizing coat here, but you know, I don't want to ruin the snakeskin. I don't want to miss out on the snakeskin sticking to the bow for any reasons. The reason you do a sizing coat, that's what this is called, by the way, if I didn't make that clear, is that raw wood will suck some of the, glue is basically still liquid until it, in this case the air cures it, the air sort of evaporates out of it and it hardens into a finished cured product. But lost my thought. But because I've already glued sinew down on this, there's no raw wood to pull the glue in. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to do the sizing coat anyway. I rough the surface up with sandpaper very lightly. I don't want to burn through too much of that sinew. And then I'm going to apply another coat, a very thin coat of glue down the middle of my skin, which is right here. Real thin. And we want to get this to the point where it's kind of just tacky. Not fully dry. Just sort of, I don't know, really sticky, tacky, whatever you want to call it. And it isn't going to take long. Even though it's getting colder now, it's still not going to take long because it's such a thin coat of glue. And I prepared the skin. This is that giant ball python skin that I had in a different video. I'll put a link to it if you want to see what it looked like when it was all in one piece. Now the skin is going to absorb some of this liquid, even though I soaked it to get it malleable again, because it was dried. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to put a little more down here. Now if I do this right, I only want the center of this skin, which I think is the most attractive part, to be the part that glues to the bow. It's such a wide skin, I might have enough of the side skin to do another bow later. So I'm going to try to be really careful here. Alright, how are we doing? Okay, see how I do my finger? It kind of leaves a fingerprint there and it doesn't go back to flat. That means we've sort of got that tacky phase. So I'm now going to put a little bit heavier amount of glue on. I've said before, this isn't the time to skimp on your glue. I mean, you don't have to get too nuts, but at the same time, you want this stuff to stay down, because if you don't, you have to kind of, well, you can either live with it where it comes up, or you have to pull the skin off and start over again. And I don't like ruining these skins. They're very hard to come by, especially these python skins, because they don't sell them. They're something I get from people who, either a pet store where the animal has died, or in trade from people who had pets who then the pets led a beautifully long life and passed away, and they have no use for them. And they trade me out for bows or quivers or stuff like that for their skins. And they are happy, I am happy, but you're not going to go to a leather store necessarily and find this particular pattern of python or otherwise. There are also people who go out and they live in snake friendly, or I wouldn't say friendly, but snake populated areas, harvest the animals and sell them. And as you know, that's up to you how you feel about that. I am okay with it to the point that you start over harvesting the animals. Then I'm not for it, because they do serve a purpose. Alright, as my glue drips lovingly onto my work table, I'm going to now put the snake down. Now at this point, I'm just trying to get the snake skin, you know, well, that was pretty easy. Snake skin just on the bow. Okay, that's a little bit of glue that got on the skin. I don't want that. It'll probably come off. That'll probably come off when I scale the them, but I'm not going to risk it right now. All right, so now we got to look at the pattern of the snake and decide what we want to keep and what we don't. I kind of want this to be a dark bow with the sort of yellow accent, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pull the skin down like that, and then I take my finger and I kind of see the bubble that comes up. I don't know if you can see that, but here, maybe I can. Alright, now watch, I kind of see that bubble? That's glue, that's air, that's everything that's not going to let the skin stick properly to the bow. Alright, so let's see if you're still in focus here. More or less. I know you guys only have a portion of the skin in the picture, but you know, it's a big skin and doing the best I can here. So, oh, no, I don't want to touch that. So, take your glove off and get the glue you just put on your skin off. There we go. And now, see, there's a line of yellow right here that I really like. I'm going to keep on the bow, I hope. And there's these three boom 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 little spots here. I really hope you can see this, guys. I really don't know if you can. There's that bubble again. Meets the other bubble, meets this bubble, and then you just I kind of push it off to the side, let it run off the bow. And then I'm going to squeeze sides. There we go. You get an idea what this is going to look like already, huh? There we go. Okay. Did it again. I am so messy, I cannot keep the glue off my hands and subsequently off the bow. Keep touching the glue. Alright. Yeah, how about a new glove? I only have a box of them. Alright. It's feeling pretty good. And what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to really feel underneath the snake skin here. Make sure there are no air bubbles. They're your biggest enemy. The excess glue, see, I've got another bubble forming here. I got to run that off the bow because the excess glue will just slow the gluing time down tremendously. It won't really harm anything. The skin will still adhere to the bow just fine, but you know, it'll take that particular part of the bow will take a lot longer to dry than the rest of it. So I think we're good. Now this particular skin doesn't have the pattern that, say, a rattlesnake skin would have, where it's a diamond, a diamond, a diamond, a diamond. And that looks really nice when you follow the pattern on a snaky bow. I don't have any rattlesnake at the moment, and I really wanted this almost black skin. That's really what I wanted. I wanted this ball python on this particular bow. So I'm very pleased to use this skin. But I'm not going to get that curvy pattern that the well, here. Well, I'll show you that later. You've seen my other rattlesnake bows. There's nothing that I can no surprises there. You just have the diamonds following the shape of this snaky curve, and it's very dramatic. It actually looks like you put the bow on the ground, like a snake's slithering through the grass. And it makes for a very, very cool effect. And all that sort of thing. But now watch what I'm doing here, guys. I want to center this. So all I do in this case is kind of drag this dot into the center of the bow. I'm going to drag this one over as well a little bit, just because I like the pattern a little more. This one's got a nice little black spot and the whole kind of thing in the middle there too. Then I kind of just stretch it out to the side and just make sure it's flat. There's really not much to this. I mean, I know I build it up into something major, but the truth is, it's pretty straightforward. Alright, so then, this feels like it's already starting to really stick down to the bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it here for a little bit, let it harden up a little bit. This won't be ready for at least 24 hours. I'm not even going to mess with it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, I might test it. I might run my finger up the thing like this, see if I can find any more air bubbles in it. I don't think I'm going to, but I can do that. And I'll show you what it looks like. I got my work cut out for me on this other limb. Because sometimes, now look at this other limb here. That was a pretty straight limb. Got a lot more snakiness to deal with in this limb. And but it's such a wide skin, which is one of the reasons I'm using it, it's going to help me accommodate to this. So I'm not particularly worried about it. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to do that to the other limb, and then next video I will show you the end result. So Mike from Boyer Bows, guys, thanks for watching. I'll put a couple of links in the description page so you can refer to them, and we'll see you soon.